here for the latest. South side or the north side, not tuned to the greatest. Home team for the home teams. Both sides got our own rings. On the mound or the long ball, but we don't put the wrong strings. Yeah. It's that time of the year now. Wrigley or a guarantee, so the whole league that we hear now. New show with a new mood. Discussions and interviews. Trade rumors that might be. This is Pinwheels and Knife.
What's going on, everybody? Let us do the retweets, tweets, tweeters, and we will go from there once we get that all set up. I can already tell I have shitty internet, so I'm going to change what internet I have because it's just like one.
Yeah, I thought it was me, and I was like, "Man, we're down bad right now." Kevin's like in 4K over there.
I'm over here. I'm in 8K now. I have a new modem, and I'm double vaxxed with a booster, so it's like bam.
So is it frozen? I can't tell.
All right, you guys hear me?
Hot start.
No, I just had a.
It's not much so much of your. It's not your connection so much as I think you're just getting a little feedback. That's all.
Yeah,
no,
that's just my feedback to you. Sorry.
Now we're on a hot start. No, we're good now. I chose. As you can tell, me and Aldo are both on road games right now, as we're not in our normal areas. You guys ready?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday, December 30th, 2021. It's the last day. You have found the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. I am your host, Matt Swaski, a.k.a. Southside Zoe, a.k.a. Father Zoe. And with me, as always, one last time in 2021, I swear he's not in a prison. He kind of looks like he's in like a dungeon. Mr. Aldo Soto.
You know, being back home with the family during the holidays, it kind of did distract me away from the fact that we're like in the middle of the lockout and there's just been zero talk about anything happening.
Yeah.
And I was just reminded, oh yeah, there's supposed to be baseball, but there's not, and there's probably not going to be for like another month at least.
And on that high
Happy
note,
New Year, everyone.
on that high note, the good Reverend K. Fitz.
I'll be honest, Aldo. I actually thought you were in Guantanamo Bay, so I was actually concerned for your well-being. But I'm glad to see that they allowed you to wear a Bears. That's actually the torture is that you have Bears beanie. But no. By the way, I just want to throw this out. The shirt I'm wearing today was brought to you by my buddy, my good friend Josh Primack. Thank you for the Christmas gift for my favorite Jewish man. He sent me this. He buys me Christmas presents every year, like a very good friend. So this is my C-3PO Cubs shirt. So
Is that what you say? Isn't he a mensch?
Mensch on a bench, which was like the Israeli national baseball teams.
I was going to say that's the Bears Super Bowl hat from when they lost in the Super Bowl to the Colts. Those are the ones they made, and they just make Aldo wear it. You know how they had the leftover ones?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well,
shout out Rex Coast.
Shout out the originator of someone's down there. Yeah, let's just dive in. Let's tap this keg. As always, this show is brought to you by SportsMockery, sportsmockery.com. Make sure you download the app, turn on push notifications. You'll be the first to know when the lockout's over, or when Matt Nagy gets fired, or when the Bulls actually lose again, because they're not. It's never going to happen. But if it does, you'll get a push notification. SportsMockery, sportsmockery.com. Download the app, turn on push notifications, and of course, this is brought to you by us. We had a lot of fun doing this for you guys this year. We pony up a lot of this ourselves, and a lot of it comes through generous donations by the people listening, as well as people that buy our merch. Both links to do all of that can be found at Pinwheels Ivy Pod on Twitter. I don't think I've said it less than 1 million times, but we really appreciate it. We love you guys. We wouldn't keep doing this if it wasn't for you. So, all right. Well,
also the clout. It was for the clout and for the gram.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big time.
Japan.
Oh yeah. I'm huge in Japan.
I'm very popular in Zimbabwe. Actually, I have a huge following for some reason.
People firing shots on Marcus Stroman in the comments. This is getting saucy early.
Thanks.
I love it.
With the aggressiveness.
I would
To answer
actually
that
pay a
question,
lot.
though,
Justin said, hold on, for the people that don't watch the show, first of all, watch the show. Justin, A+ Blue Jays hat. And also, will I get a push notification when Marcus Stroman sucks and he attacks David Ross in the dugout?
and by the way, to answer your question, Justin, David Ross won't be the manager by the time Marcus Stroman loses his shit. There'll be another guy in there that he'll lose his shit on when he does. But I hope you're feeling better, buddy. I know you're feeling a little bit under the weather, so I hope you're feeling better.
And also, the direct answer to that question is actually yes, you would probably get a push notification if that happens. Yeah,
Not safe for work.
Yeah, you would definitely get a push notification. So,
NSW.
if you're listening to this, hopefully you're gearing up to go celebrate New Year's Eve. 2021 was an interesting year for both teams, both sides of town for this show, for all three of us especially. But we just basically wanted
fun for one side.
Very fun for one side, but I gotta say the north side looks like they're back on the upswing a little bit. Well, it depends. It's
not 2024 yet.
It depends what you want to believe in.
Right, and don't get me wrong. Signing Marcus Stroman is a significant move, but it's not like a plan the parade move. You know what I mean? Like it's
a finish second place in your division at best move.
It's a good start though. It's a really good start. Like we mentioned when it happened, it reminds me a lot of when the Sox signed Yasmani Grandal super early in free agency, and then they use that chip to lure other people like Adam Eaton.
And like that's why this lockout especially sucks because we've been through this a whole bunch of times. Cubs haven't spent a whole bunch of years. It all made sense that this was the year that they could spend. And then right the last day before the lockout, there's the Stroman signing, and then there's the Correa link, and then there's the lockout. And then since the lockout, we've seen a whole bunch of the Cubs are serious about Correa, or Correa signed to the Cubs or whatever. But like at the same time, that nothing's happening because there's a lockout. It's like none of this actually matters.
But Cubs fans did sing Christmas carols to Carlos Correa, and he acknowledged it.
There's there's only one fan base he wished happy Merry Christmas to.
That's true.
Cubs fans and no one else.
That's true. Merry Christmas to Cubs fans and no one else. Yankees fans, fuck yourselves.
Mets fans, especially fuck yourselves.
Yeah. But that's exciting news for the Cubs right now. Like, on the flip side of that thing, like White Sox fans, we're just literally like floating in baseball limbo right now. You know what I mean? Like what are they gonna do? Like I'm seriously, you guys know me as well as anybody, and I like to convince myself of things and then convince myself of the opposite of that thing, and I flip-flop. I'm a flip-flop. I flip-flop. I'll admit it. But the amount I am flip-flopping like a motherfucker. Oh, don't worry. Rick Hahn's going to do something. He ain't going to do shit. No, he's totally he ain't going to do shit.
I wanted to ask you, though, because I've been off Twitter for the past week. But I've just been wondering, as a whole, since the lockout, have the White Sox hypotheticals, on White Sox Twitter, have they been even crazier or less crazy? Have they calmed down since the lockout, or are they still crazy?
They've been non-existent.
It's been mostly ridiculed.
So everyone's taking a break.
They're just busting each other's balls instead and sending off
to
the female members of White Sox Twitter. That's all they're doing.
You know what? That's smart. That's smart though, because once the lockout is over,
in the DMs. They need baseball news bad because they're sliding into everybody's DMs right now.
Yeah, I don't get involved in all that shit. But
I get it. Alex slides into my DMs all the time.
It's just it's weird though, because to that point, it's it really is just non-existent. Yeah, people are there was a solid week where it was just a Royal Rumble in Sox Twitter, and it was every person for themselves, and everyone was just going at each other's throats, and it was wild. And I was just this is my scene, man. You know what I mean? But
you get a big event coming up next month though where everyone's going to get together. So all the shit talking could erupt into a hug or a full out barroom brawl like a Burt Reynolds movie.
It's Twitter. It's going to be no awkward eye contact and no one talks to each other.
Two dudes with their hands in their pockets staring at the ground.
Yeah. But
what a great time to see the top of everybody's heads.
But it has been weird because I was actually thinking about that. Although, like, you're seeing your normal off-season, especially lockout off-season stuff, like top 10 players this guy can go to, or this is what the White Sox rotation could look like, type things, and that's all fine. I get it. People got content to fill and shit like that, and I understand it 100%. And some of it's actually really entertaining. Some of it, you're just like, all right, that's a blog post for a blog post's sake. You know what I mean? But there hasn't really been any, like, Sox Machine did their thing where everybody submitted their off-season plans. They did that right out of the gate. And that was a lot of really good reading. There was a lot of Fitz, are you commenting on your own shirt?
No, yeah, absolutely am. I'm 100% commenting on my own shirt.
For those of you listening to the podcast, Fitz is in the comment section, and he just
That's how I really interject myself into the discussion.
That Cubs 3PO shirt from Joshua Primnick is tight.
I should have said lit, huh? I would have made me feel more like a young person.
Yes,
I was all of you should be joining the chat every time that you miss out on the live broadcast. The chat's the place to be. I was just demonstrating how easy it is to feed us with some of your nonsense. Please listen to us on iTunes and Spotify, but the YouTube stream is much more enjoyable. Jump on in.
It is, and we really enjoy interacting with people, and that's one of the things that we're going to talk about here in a minute. But yeah, man, I haven't seen any, like, the White Sox should put together this package for this guy, or they should be going gung-ho for this free agent and all this other shit. Like, it's because, like, we're in this weird, like, middle state where, like, when people get upset that nothing happened before the lockout, they get quickly reminded that the White Sox are good. They're a good team. Like, it's a good fucking baseball team. And then when people say they're a good fucking baseball team, you get people that come back and like, first round exit, they fucking suck. You need to get this guy, and that guy. But here's the thing, like most debates on fucking social media, there is a fucking middle. And that's kind of where I live.
How dare you?
I live in the middle, dude. And it's like, they're a good team, but they need to do some things. You know what I mean? It's like, they're not like set.
What a level-headed thought process, though. How dare you?
It's weird, and I'm sober. But, yeah, it's just, I don't know, dude. That's all I've really seen, though, besides that and, like, people going at each other. But, yeah, the big event that Fitz is mentioning, too, because it's only a week away, so we should give them a shout, is the 108 for 108 Day on January 8th, 0108, I believe that's next Saturday. Pull up my sweet calendar here. Yeah, next Saturday. It's at Reggie's. They did it like 2-3 years ago.
2-3 years ago?
I actually was there. And the thing is, when I was there, like, I didn't know a lot of the people I know now from White Sox Twitter. Like, I knew who they were, but, like, and they do something that I really like. They like give everyone name tags and everyone writes their Twitter handle on them. Makes it so much easier, dude. Like, way easier. Because, like, if someone wrote, like, Tim, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And he's like, oh, I'm Butt Slapper. Oh, and I'm like, oh, Butt Slapper. Like, it's an awkward conversation.
Katy Perry's Wet Booty.
Yeah. Oh, it's like, hey, what's up, dude? Like, I talk to you all the time. But,
So, do you remember who was the most, like, no way that's you? Like, the face didn't match the name.
Well, I'd say, and please, I know this is going to get taken way out of proportion.
It was Herb, wasn't it?
I've known Herb for a very long time. I definitely thought White Sox Dave was taller.
Huh. Yeah. He's like that little kid that sings in the Walmart in the country western outfit. That's about his height.
He is a short dude.
And Buzz are about the same height.
That night was the night, though, I really first got to meet Sam Mendelson, and that guy's fucking awesome. That's a really good dude right there. I mean, and the other thing I remember from that night was Herb, like, if someone walked by the bar on the street, Herb bought him a beer. Like, he was, like, buying beers for everybody. He was on one. Lawrence Holmes was absolutely fucking hilarious. It's too bad those tapes got lost, huh, Beef Loaf? But yeah, Lawrence Holmes was fucking hilarious. Oh, bad news, everybody. Butt Slapper 2003 isn't going to make it this year.
That just means Beef's deactivated his burner.
His burner. But it's a great time.
There he is.
Hey, Yumper. But yeah, it's really cool meeting everybody. I highly recommend it. I don't know if tickets are still available. It sounds like people like Justin sold his tickets, but yeah, I mean, you don't want to get in a situation where you don't have access to these lost tapes, because I've heard they've been demolished and incinerated 3 times over. So they're with to catch it live.
They're with the Pam Anderson tapes. And by the way, question for you guys for this. And we've got a couple of the 108 drunk uncles in the chat too. Will there be a live stream of this event available to those of us that are stuck on the West Coast, or are we stuck with just photographs and really, really blurry, bad, shaky, vertical film style?
Did you not just hear me talk about lost tapes for 5 minutes?
Well, but I thought
this shit isn't recorded, dude.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, guys. It takes them a minute.
These are strip club rules, Kevin. Come on. No phone.
We don't have those here in Vegas, so we just film carry.
I mean, there will be the over-under on amount of selfies that come from this thing is like 562. But
can someone bootleg like an audio, just like go live and put it in their pocket and pretend like they're not filming? I want to hear it.
But bad news. We have been told it is sold out. So, sucks to suck. I got my ticket right away because it sold out quick last time. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it. It's going to be good just to see everybody again. So that's next Saturday, January 8th. So,
Aloha, I'm immediately looking at Frontier Airlines right now to see if I can get like a $30 round trip like I got one time for the World Series.
Yep. But yeah, and I mean, I'm sure there'll be hypothetical free agent and trade situations discussed there. I don't know who the panel is going to be or whatever, but I know those guys, and I know they're going to put on a hell of a show because they always do. And like I said, the one in 2020 or whatever it was a fucking blast. I had a ton of fun. So I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I had a couple things that I wanted to mention as like some of my favorite parts of this year. I mean, most of it, White Sox stuff is really, I'm not going to really shock anybody by what my White Sox moments are. I mean, number one with a bullet for me, without a doubt, and we can all just kind of take our turns and we'll just keep picking one or whatever. But the Field of Dreams game. I mean, how fucking awesome was that, dude?
That was
MLB fucking nailed it.
That was like everything was perfect.
Right. It was perfect. MLB nailed it. They used the super juicy balls. Trademark on that band name. They used the super juicy balls, so it was home runs galore, like bombs too, piss missiles all over the place. They're just
like jam shots, like 350 the other way.
Off like the nub. Judge hits ones off the handle, it goes fucking 450 the other way.
I just found round trip to Chicago. That gets me back. Oh, there. He just threw something in the chat. And if it's what it is, if it's not like some scam on Frontier's website, I might be showing up to the 108.
Crazy shit has happened. Fitz, I feel like you would really like Reggie's. It's a dope.
I would absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's a really cool place. But anyways, but MLB nailed it. The marketing was great. The uniforms were fucking great. It was lame that it was the Yankees, but because it always has to be the Yankees, but whatever, it worked out. The game itself was fantastic, and then it produced in what, in my opinion, was the most Fitz, help me out, film teacher.
Cinematic
photograph / GIF / small video of Tim Anderson rounding third base with the fireworks perfectly like out of focus over the scoreboard, doing his little crow step hops to his teammates surrounded at home, and then them all going nuts at home plate because it's a game, it's a walk-off home run by one of the most electric players in the league who happens to be on my favorite team. It was fucking amazing. I don't think I've cheered that much and got that emotionally involved in a non-playoff baseball game in a long time. I mean, it was just some bullshit game in the middle of the season. It meant nothing. The Sox lost the next 2 games to the Yankees after that. Got their asses kicked. But that night, that game from start to finish was just, oh, it was beautiful. It was perfect. So that's my number one.
And I mean, just adding on to that, we always talking about, Cubs fans feel about the Sox and vice versa. But like in terms of me just being like, just watching that game, that was like one of the most like pure jealousy moments ever. Because it was straight out of a movie. Like the game was amazing, back and forth, and we all love the pitchers duel, but we also love fucking dingers back and forth. That had that as the walk-off home run. It has the storybook ending for the Sox. It has the movie shot with the fireworks behind Tim Anderson. Like as a Cubs fan, and like this is like right after, basically blew everything up, or we're going to. I forget when it was. Was it in August or July?
I don't even.
August, right?
It seems like 10 years ago.
I think it was it was after that. No matter what, it was because it was already like dead and gone for the season. So that was like one of just pure like, damn, like jealous as fuck watching that.
Yeah, and you bring up like everybody likes pitchers duels and walk-offs and stuff, but everyone talks about the home runs about that game. People forget that Michael Kopech came out there and absolutely piped fastballs for like 2 innings and like looked untouchable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was just, the game was just fucking awesome. Hold on, I found a really cool image. I want to fucking share it because I know everybody knows it, but like when you see it, I just got like goosebumps again just seeing this. Like this was, oh man, what a game! I'm seriously, it gets me fired up still. Like it's just amazing. The game was awesome. And since I'm not at my normal setup, I don't have my normal like 3-screen setup going on here, so you're gonna have to bear with me here, everybody. I mean, look at that, dude. Like that's sick. You know what I mean? Like
straight out of a movie, yeah.
Yep. It couldn't have worked out any better. Like that was just A+. That's the one thing I think MLB got right this whole season. August 12th. Thank you. Although, did you see this comment? Between the Modelo and the background, I think Aldo was filming live from my childhood.
Shout out to the Mexican parents out there. Just made tamales with my mom.
Oh,
amazing.
Fuck, that sounds good. Yeah, that's my number one. I don't know which one of you guys want to go first, but go ahead.
Although you can go.
I mean, so there's like a couple things that stand out for me from this. Again, 2021 Cubs, shit year. We're doing this because Zoe wanted to relive the White Sox, which is fair. It was a good season, Sox. I don't care how stupid the play was by everyone involved, but you cannot deny that one of the funniest shit plays that happened this year was that Baez fielder's choice at home, the Pirates first baseman completely just forgetting baseball, Baez not knowing that he was going to be out if he was tagged out, the calling safe, the umpire not, like nobody knew and then throwing the ball away down the right field line, and then the throw almost got away again coming in. I mean that play basically made I forget the guy's name for the first baseman for the Pirates. It made him retire from like MLB. He had to go to Korea.
You can look up guys that bag groceries at Jewel, and I bet you'll find them.
And according to our guy in the locker room, Jason Shreve, friend of the show, everyone was there for him in the locker room too. Like he wasn't like scorned by any means for making the dumbest baseball choice of the entire summer. But they love him
because he could have hit. He talked to the media. He was I don't know what the fuck happened.
He just didn't know.
And then just think about how bad the Pirates were, and he was like, "I'm out of here, guys." There was that. There's Beef Loaf reviving Patrick Wisdom.
Hold on, you only get one. We're doing one at a time. One at a time.
Okay,
Keep
okay.
that in the holster.
I'll put that back in. I'll put that back in.
Yeah.
I want
keep
to
that in the
reword it
holster.
because now I remember what that whole weekend was about now.
All right. And yeah, listen to Beefloaf, you fucking ingrates. Smash the like button.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what.
everyone like, subscribe.
Yep.
Like, follow,
Wait, you
comment.
gotta do it like a cool YouTube kid. Don't you gotta like point at it, like
Right,
like
like-
and subscribe?
Where is it at though? Like I don't really. Our StreamYard thing doesn't really show us, so we're just going to point to all
Yeah,
of
we don't get to.
this one, and then just do that. Smash this, and then
Smash the like button. Turn
Smash-
on the notifications. Subscribe. No, we used to say, "Hey
Smash
guys,
the
we
like
noticed
button,
that 55%
or I'll take
of
this
the
dog
people who watch
outside."
aren't subscribed to
That
our
is some-
channel. So
that is some National
hit
Lampoon.
that subscribe button.
Smash the like button, or this dog doesn't get fed.
All right,
Just kidding. I love you.
I don't know. I got nothing with this. So,
Go ahead, Fitz. What do you got?
we're going obviously from the like we're not starting with our most right.
I
We're going-
started with my most, but at
Oh,
this
you will
point,
get most
who gives a
most.
shit?
I mean,
At this point, who gives a shit?
shit. I mean, if it's most, you know what that is. But I'm gonna actually go the other way. I'm gonna boomerang this thing around and say that on the fringe, if it was like a top 3 or 5, I think for me the Cubs, just the first couple of months of the Cubs season to me was a moment. They were actually in it. They were contenders. They were in first place. They were beating teams. They were a team that at the trade deadline should have been buying at that point from April and May. I came back from Cabo from a vacation, and the Cubs were, they played their balls off. They played hard. They played like a team that didn't want to get split up.
Wait,
And,
time out. Is that when we got the famous "Who's going to win the Super Bowl"? The Cubs.
Probably. Oh yeah. Yes. And I will actually. I'm going to bring that one up. We're going to replay that one later. Yes. So to preface this story, for those of you that don't know what the fuck we're talking about right now, I was in Cabo.
Before and after that.
Yeah, for spring break, and these guys. It was a Thursday. It was a Thursday, I think. At this point, we were still doing Thursday nights,
Yep.
and these guys were doing their show, and we were in we had gone on an all-day boat thing where we were like scuba diving, and it was open bar on the boat, and there was only 3 of us. So like basically, it was a shit show. I was not piloting the boat. We were supposed to have more people with us, and they canceled, so we were stuck 3 of us with a 3-person crew on a big ass fucking sailboat, which was awesome. I felt like a pirate. Anyway, so the girls.
Sailing.
I was so Bob Whaley too, because especially when we had to take a picture by like the Arch Rock, I was terrified. But so anyway, they do this, and the girls were so fucked up when we got back. My girlfriend was holding hands with the elderly dude that was driving the van back to the hotel. Like she was actually holding his hand, like interlocked, like middle school, like romance. I'm like, okay, that's weird. But anyway, so we went to this place. It was it was called San Juan. I think it was San Juan or San Jose. San Juan. I can't remember. And they do this Thursday night art, whatever festival, and so. We're there. I'm starting to drink, but Carrie, of course, is still starting to sober up. My girlfriend, and yeah, I hop on the stream with my cell phone, and we're at the top of this old ass bar that's probably been around for like 100 years. It's like oak, and it smells like an old church and church pews. And I'm like, yeah, Carrie jumps on, and yeah, if we asked her who's going to win the Super Bowl, and she's Cubs.
Literally just like that. And it was one of those where we all froze. I looked right at Aldo. I said, "Clip that." And then we just never spoke of it again until right now.
Well, I've spoken about it plenty, which I'm
sorry. Go ahead. Proceed with the first month. That's when everybody started doing the whole Cubs White Sox World Series. Here's my blog.
There's 2 months. May. Cubs were contenders going into the end of May. They hit that. They actually no-hit the Dodgers. And after the no-hitter in LA, everything died. Yep. Everything died after the no-hitter, the combined no-hitter that we were all so jacked about. At that point, it was like the entire soul was sucked out, and it died. But that was a really special. That was the thing where it's like with the Cubs, it felt like the Cubs were like intentionally. The ownership was trying to intentionally lose, and the players were like, "Fuck you, we're going to win." And that was fun for a bit because it was like every time we win, we remove a piece of her clothing. Except it's Tom Ricketts' nipples, not the former Vegas showgirl. So that was a really special kind of like moment.
So your boy, Mr. Hand, kind of beat me to the punch. We're going robin here, dude. Like, give me a minute here. But it's not even the fact that I got to see Nick Madrigal. Oh, we got our first spam comment ever. Guys, hold on. This is a very memorable moment.
Arthur, welcome.
Yes. If you got Cash App and you want to flip as low as $50, hit them up for more information. Yes, Arthur, thank you. That's our first spam app, guys. We're making it. Anyways,
pushed beyond.
So
wait, well, the profile picture is that what is that guy's? Is that the mean kid?
no,
It's not
that's not Terrio. Ooh, kill him!
Right, I mean that's what I was thinking. Shout out to Arthur Johnson. You got your shit hacked.
Yep.
Not to be like a downer. Of course, we all know about the passing of Jeff Dickerson, who's a real popular Chicago sports reporter.
Yes.
And we've been getting updates about the GoFundMe. Tom Ricketts today donated $5,000, which is great. Brandon Meister donated $1 more than his own brother Barry, $3,000 to $3,001. But then you look to the big dogs. The Bears donated $25K. Dan Snyder $25K. Jim Irsay $25K. Jeff Lurie $10,000. Anthony Rizzo and Jeff Glazier and the Blackhawks Foundation gave more to a guy that covered the Cubs quite frequently than Tom Ricketts did. So sorry, I just want to point out Tom Ricketts is a piece of shit one more time. Sorry,
Jaden. He still donated. I'm not going to hate on the guy for donating.
No, I know.
I'm not going to.
In comparison to the open,
he still donated. You can't really do that, dude.
I'm not gonna. I mean,
anyways,
Elon Musk paid his taxes too, I guess.
Anyways, my number 2 moment on this list though was I didn't get to go to as many in-person games as I wanted to this year with COVID and having at the time less than 1-year-old, and just I don't know, it still kind of freaks me out about me the last thing that I could never live with myself if I went out to get drunk and I came home and got my kid sick. So it really kind of fucked me up. It really bummed me out because I would see all these videos and pictures of people at tailgates and people meeting people in the stands, and like I was fucking jealous as shit all season. Serious FOMO going on over here because I got nothing but love for everybody in White Sox Twitter. Like it's such a great community, and I just want to go out.
Sorry. That was just I was queuing that up for your story.
So I finally got to go to a game, felt comfortable. It was right after I was fully vaccinated, and grabbed some Busch Lights, hopped in an Uber, and the whole time I'm there, Fids is texting me from Buffalo Wings and Rings, so that's kind of getting me pumped in the car. Uber driver was cool. He let me drink a tall boy. I was getting fired up. Got dropped off about a block away from Beeflo's house because the Uber driver didn't believe me. He lived in that mansion. And so, yeah, Beef, I'm put the word out. So I walk down there, walk in, see all these familiar faces that I talk with like every fucking day. You guys realize like we talk to each other every fucking day. It's wild. I talk to these people more than I talk to my family. But so I see these guys and I walk in the backyard and there's Fids, there's, Mr. Han, Treasy, Beefloaf, Yumper, all these dudes that I love hanging out with, talking with. And so, it instantly just felt like, get in where you fit in. I felt like I was where I was supposed to be. And, we had some beers, we had a lot of laughs, took an awesome selfie. Mailman Jack showed up. Unfortunately, My Sox Summer showed up. Fucking guy. I'm just kidding. I love you, Big Puppy. And we hung out, and then we all walked over to the game where we met up with a whole bunch of other people from White Sox Twitter. Luke, Adam, Carrie, I can't even name everyone. We just met so many people. And the night started becoming just like a whirlwind because it was like, every time I turn around, someone's handing me a beer. I'm pounding the beer. I'm drinking. We're telling stories. Everybody's laughing. Meanwhile, there's a fucking baseball game going on right in front of our face. Fitz decided to fucking start heckling the shit out of the right fielder the whole day. And it was like fun heckling. It wasn't like, oh, I fucked your dog. Like, it was like, he was making fun of what were you making fun of his socks?
No, he's wearing an arm sleeve.
Sleeve. Yeah, there you go.
Wearing an arm sleeve. So
that. And then the unspeakable happened. Nick fucking Madrigal hits a home run while I'm sitting there, all tuned up with some of the greatest people that I know from White Sox Twitter, and it just chaos ensued. I sat down and just started smiling and laughing and just going like, holy shit, I can't believe this is happening. Carrie's down there for one of the most memorable pictures of the year with his hands on his head going, and like everybody's laughing their ass off. Sammy Davis is taking pictures. It just was crazy shit, man. And I'll never forget it. The after party at Cork, just even though I couldn't get an Uber home for like 4 hours, it was good shit, man. And that was one of those nights that, you know, you never forget. And I really appreciate everything. And we got actually people asking actual baseball questions. So timeout from Story Time. What's up, David? Are the Cubs going to go after Correa or Story? You know what, bud? I really hope they are. I think they're really going to make a run, but I'll turn this over to the two Cubs guys on the show.
I mean, simple
Aldo?
response. I hope so.
Yep.
And that's where and so far, they're supposedly making things that they are. So there's that.
Well,
Take
now
that
see,
for
this is
whatever
a
you
better
want.
question, David. This is a better question. David said, "Who's better?"
I mean,
Well,
Correa is. I mean,
I think
But-
all three of
but-
us are
but-
going to say Correa.
but Trevor Story is not a terrible fallback. Like that's like, oh God,
Right.
I didn't hook up with Kate Beckinsale. I only hooked up with, I don't know,
1996 Pamela Anderson.
Betty White tomorrow. So I was thinking Betty White. I don't know where you went with that, but
Yeah, well,
Like obviously,
Happy
no,
100th birthday,
no
Betty.
player ever, like no player ever is going to be like even Mike Trout. Like you can say like, oh, he's been a little injured here and there. So obviously, no
Right.
player is going to be ever perfect. Like nothing's ever. Carlos Correa, he's had like injury concerns, like back. That's like
Yeah,
the one
Correa's
thing
got
that you don't
Correa's
know.
got injury concerns. Story's got the first thing, you know, all his splits, which it's legit, but like I don't,
Yep.
as I've mentioned a million times on the show, I don't put too much weight into it.
Right.
Correa's definitely
That'd be a win-win. I'm sorry, either one. I'm fine with. I'm happy with.
Correa's definitely
Oh, yeah.
going to cost
Well,
more,
you
but
have
you
to
pay
think.
more for premium talent.
Yep, we have to. But
That's
but
It goes back
Trevor
to-
Story's the
it goes
best.
back to the premium talent and the age. Like
Yeah.
I know like everyone brings up, and we've been going through it for the past 3 years. Like fuck, they couldn't do anything because of Jason Hayward's contract. But just because you miss on a guy doesn't mean that you just never try again. Because imagine, so like if John Lester, like if he didn't work out, so does that mean that the Cubs just should never go after an ace pitcher in free agency? Like
You can't let Jason-
the point of this is you take as many shots as you can.
You can't let the Jason Hayward contract scare you away from making moves later. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. I was going to save that. God dang it. I was trying to. I want to share that. You can't let the Hayward albatross scare you away from locking in a dude that could bring you 1 to 3, maybe more. Probably. I mean, let's be honest, 1 to 3 possible World Series championships. Jason Hayward wasn't the guy where you're like, God, this guy's going to carry us. Correa could carry it. He's a franchise dude. But Trevor Story is also a fantastic. If it's not Correa and you get a little bit less, you're going to have more money for pitching, which is fine by me, I guess. Because the
Holy
guy,
shit.
either way, both are an upgrade over the previous guy.
This doesn't happen often,
Okay.
but David, you just broke news to me. I usually
Oh,
live
yeah,
on Twitter,
today.
but
His wife.
I had
posted
no
it.
idea that Kyle Seager, after 11 seasons with
Oh,
the
yeah, I did see that,
Mariners,
yeah.
retired. This is kind of important to what we're talking about now because Seattle has a fuck ton of money to spend, and there's a lot of words going out that they're going to be making a run for it. Now, you've heard them linked to Chris Bryant. You've heard them linked to Seager. Correa, Story, like all these guys. This could run up the cost a little bit for the Cubs when it comes to one of these guys. And put it this way, though, from a non-Cubs fan, the Cubs have a lot of fucking money to play with. There should be absolutely no reason for them not to spend.
Like no reason.
No reason.
Like again, we went through this with the Harper Machado free agency here, and
They're
like
still
fine,
coming.
like again, I don't agree with it, but you can say like fine, oh like they were already at $210 million, like they were pushing it. Like okay, I don't agree with it, but fine. This year, like basically, and it's not even this year's though. It's like the next few years. It's no one. Like in
Right.
2024, there's like no guaranteed money to anyone.
Yep. It was the honeypot.
And for the record, there was a lot of people saying that those two wouldn't be worth those contracts. Harper just won an MVP and Machado is a fucking stud. So people don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
You really have to take a step back a lot of times and just remind yourself that people are guessing just as much as you are. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
And-
yeah.
And again, like even with like the Harper and people are like, yeah, but the Phillies suck, or oh, what have the Padres won? You get good players because they increase your chances of winning more And yes, and we look at the Padres and like they spent wildly on pitching and they've done those crazy trades. So far, it hasn't worked. But are you telling me as a fan you didn't at least say like, hey, I mean they're fucking trying.
You got to try,
They're
man.
trying.
And David, to answer your question, Hayward is a free agent in 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his next 2 years, he's going to be paid, $50 million?
Something like that. But that's the thing. Cubs don't have any long-term money on the books right now.
No.
They have no long-term money.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I saw a post.
Stroh's 3 years. Stroh's 3 years. So.
Yeah. And good point, Yumper. People also said DeMar DeRozan was a horrible signing, and all he is the best fucking player in the fourth quarter in the NBA right now, and the Bulls are fucking tearing up the league. Anyways.
Can I answer Dave's question real quick on this one? What if the Cubs don't get Correa or Story? What are the options? Probably what Tom Ricketts planned the entire time, which is buying tickets and still showing up to the ballpark, giving him tons of money, and them spending mid to bottom tier against the rest of the league is what happens. Is actually what happens. That's basically if he doesn't rank Correa or Story, there's nothing else they're going to do. They're mailing it in. They're going to have minor league deals. That's all they've done. And during the shutdown, by the way, they could totally lock up like dozens and dozens of minor league deals. By the way, so.
And also, they do have long-term money in the fucking hotel and whatever other bullshit they got going on.
I mean, no, in everything. All of Wrigleyville, the Ricketts own that. Yeah, that's the other thing that pisses me off. Like, they have the money to spend every fucking year.
They're selling it.
In terms of options, I'm still not as negative or pessimistic about that as Kevin is. I mean, there's guys. Like Eddie Rosario, the fucking guy for the Braves who just tore it up in the postseason. They get him.
Out of nowhere. He was literally
Kyle
picked up off the street.
I love Kyle Schwarber back. They'd be the beast.
The Cubs.
There's guys. I guess we talked
Cubs
about
deemed him unworthy of Cubs deemed him unworthy of money at all. He was let go for nothing. So I'm not entirely sure that the Cubs.
But again, that doesn't matter. That was before. That was when they were faking that they didn't have money. They can't do that anymore.
Well, no, but what I'm saying,
they can and they have.
Wouldn't you non-tender the guys that are between Schwarber and Rizzo, for example? That's what I look at. Actually, I've been thinking about this for a couple of days now. Wouldn't you DFA Rizzo instead of Schwarber if you knew that Schwarber was going to be the superior player at this point in his career? And they didn't even have the foresight for that. They're actually it's a fail to know that they should have DFA'd. I know it sounds terrible to say this. They should hell would have broken loose. DFA'd Rizzo over Schwarber because you have another first baseman.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, Rizzo had the longer track record. But no, I agree. I mean, at this point, if you do Rizzo a 1-versus-1, who'd you rather have? It's Kyle Schwarber every time.
And he can catch. He's a secret. He was
Kyle Schwarber's not leaving Boston. Anyways,
probably not. He's so perfect in Boston. I hate to say it.
It's such a good. It's fucking
so
ridiculous.
perfect.
And did you guys see how much towards the end of the year, like guys like Jared Kerr? I want to say it wrong because he always gets mad when people say Carabas. But they all made up a fake story that he was from a local high school in Boston, and he started wearing the high school's shirt to his press conferences and the Boston media because he's a lovable guy. He's a real likable guy, and they all just ate it up. He ate it up. He's never leaving Boston. That short porch in right field also doesn't hurt the long-term stats and the bigger contracts down the road. He's not leaving Boston.
I've been calling him the Great Schwarbino since 2016 when he was called up. He is me. The Great Schwarbino. I've been calling him that. Huh? Wait, what?
I think that was.
I don't know who else was calling him that, but I was at a bar and I was like, "He's the Grambino, the Schwarbino," and I don't know. I mean, people probably call that more.
I swear to God, thank you. If Oklahoma kicked another field goal, I was going to have to quit the show.
Let me see my first post. My first post.
Tell everybody about your heater you're on right now.
No, you can't talk about it.
Go latest, and then I'm going to just scroll.
All right, never mind.
I can't talk about it publicly. I'm on a huge heater.
2019.
What else, though, for this season? And, David, I don't know if this is your first time watching the show, but we really appreciate you asking questions, bud. I really do.
Yes.
Some Ron Paul posts.
What are some of the other...
I wanted to bring up Cubs, Sox, weekend, Southside. Thanks again to the 108 guys for letting Kevin and I join the show that week.
Oh, yeah.
The shit talk that at least I got to do for those couple days about Patrick Wisdom being better than Jose Abreu was worth it. Even the Cubs lost that series, got fucking throttled. But Patrick Wisdom just hitting 500-foot home runs to left field and Beef crying was amazing. It was
that couldn't have worked out better for you. That seriously was put on a tee, and
that was like a win-win for everyone because at that point it didn't matter if the Cubs lost or won. I mean, the Sox still won, so it was good for their standings. I got to do a little shit talk. Patrick Wisdom got like a couple dingers under his name. It was a great weekend for everyone.
And don't forget, you guys didn't defend me, so that was a good show, jerks.
I will win.
By the way, Aldo, I have an official date. October 20th, 2015 is the first time I publicly tweeted.
There you go.
Or being
that was probably against was that NLCS time?
That's absolutely hilarious that you just Google search, you just Twitter.
I had to know when I started saying it. I feel like I've been saying, like honestly, there was a guy here. It was called Backstage Bar Billiards, the Triple B, and the owner, one of the co-owners, Michael, is a huge Cub fan. The other one is DJ Lethal from House of Pain. And Michael saw my Cubs card one night when I was there for an actual like cover band, like it was a Pink Floyd cover band, and I've never paid for a drink there since. And that dude, that's where he started calling him. Like we were in a little booth just talking like an idiot, and that's where that's where we coined that. Well, at least for us, like it probably was used.
Hold on here, your partner in crime here, Fitz, is throwing spicy meatballs in the chat. Thoughts about moving Moncada to second and trading for Matt Chapman to play third? I'm a Matt Chapman guy.
Out of here. Matt Chapman's for the Cubs only.
I'm a Matt Chapman guy. I like Matt Chapman. And also, a lot of times when you guys hear me talk about how I like random players, like I know Matt Chapman's not random, but like just pulling names out, it's because I'm good with them in the show. And I hit absolute bombs with Matt Chapman in the show. So I don't think Moncada would like to go back to second. I think he played really good defense at third, and there was that whole narrative too going around that playing third base helps keep Moncada's head in the game more, and he becomes an overall better player because of it, which it sounds stupid but doesn't really surprise me with him.
I just thought about this question, like bringing up Moncada, is that in terms of just player perception or like fan perception for a player, what's like a guy needs to perform more, like in terms of just like what fans thinking about that, Moncada or Kopech?
Moncada, because apparently Moncada played like borderline Gold Glove defense at third, he had a very good year, and apparently unless he's like fucking Mickey Mantle in his prime, he sucks according to most of the White Sox. Kopech gets a lot of love. Kopech has a way longer leash on White Sox Twitter than Moncada does. Moncada has like, let's say he goes like 1 for 4 in a game or something like that, he fucking blows. Or he goes like a month with only hits like 4 home runs, fucking pussy. It's unbelievable. So Kopech goes out, gets shelled for an inning. It's like, oh, it's okay. His haircut was weird. He'll be fine. It's so weird, dude. It's super weird. But to Yumper's point in the chat, no, the Sox don't have enough to trade for anyone. Like they don't have enough to trade for me. Like my wife would decline.
I mean, they have that one. They have the one big trade piece.
Craig.
Yeah, Kimbrel.
Craig.
And then I don't know. Yeah, Kimbrel.
No, you're not getting the A's to take on Craig Kimbrel.
No.
Oh, the A's? No. The Las Vegas Athletics? Nah, they probably won't.
No. I still want that merch when that drops. That hat you showed us with the dice.
That thing looks so sweet.
Okay, so I know this is an ADHD like tirade or side note, but yeah, it's happening, man.
Yeah. Although, were you not talking about Kimbrel when you said the big trade trees?
Well, in terms of I mean, I was thinking Vaughn just because like he has like the most trade.
It would have to be Vaughn. I mean, if you want to start talking for names like Matt Chapman, you're talking about Vaughn or Sheets. Sheets ain't gonna get you shit though.
It's Vaughn.
Back to me flip flopping. I've convinced myself you have to sell high on Sheets.
I'm going to tell you also, if the White Sox trade Vaughn, they will regret it for at least half a decade. I'll just say that. I'll just put it that way.
Andrew Vaughn for Nick Madrigal.
Nope. Not tall
You need a
enough.
second baseman.
I meant Andrew Vaughn at least.
There's other ways to go about it. I like Andrew Vaughn.
People forget Vaughn's not very tall either. Like he's not super tall.
Oh, he's a very short guy.
His magical is just not.
The other funny thing though that actually happened on baseball Twitter, Heyman tweeted that the Mets would take offers for McNeil, and he said that he mentioned by name that the White Sox would be one of the teams that he would suspect to be interested. If you could find the tweet, read the replies.
Oh, I remember you bringing it up.
The Mets fans, what they think the White Sox would trade for McNeil is absolutely give us Giolito and Giolito. They want Giolito. They want Dylan Cease. Moncada was thrown out there a couple times. They weren't dumb enough to say Luis Robert or Eloy, but it was just wild. It was just wild how casually they're like, "Oh yeah, McNeil, that could totally get us Lucas Giolito." What?
How about this? Beef. I know you're in the chat. Go with me on this one. What if the White Sox traded Kimbrel and Garrett Crochet to the Phillies for Bryson Stott?
Keep fucking that chicken, bud. I hope it happens.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this: the Phillies have really pearl clutched with Bryson Stott, so it's going to take more. It will actually not even in like trade leverage style. It's going to actually they see how special he really is. Like the ship to get him at a discount left after his this fall.
He had a really good one. Yeah, didn't he have a really huge fall ball?
He's incredible. Again, he was the guy during the draft when we did our draft show. Other than Andrew Vaughn, he was my guy that I wanted the White Sox to take bad. We had a whole discussion about it because he was a shortstop from from UNLV, blah, 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 blah. We talked about it then. But yeah, it's going to take now. And Crochet, that'd actually be a fine trade, actually, because he will not leave second base for a decade in Chicago if they got him that way. But
would you rather have, Kevin, Andrew Vaughn or Stott?
Stott. I mean, a guy that can play. I know Andrew Vaughn can play the outfield too. A guy that can play the outfield, but also is a guy that's a plus speed, a switch hitter, a guy that hit from the left side, can do a lot of things. He can play every position. He's smooth. He's also younger. He's also been very healthy. Other than the one time we threw an eephus pitch at him one time and he swung so hard he twisted his knee. And I thought
I've never seen Stott against major league pitching, so I have no idea. And I mean, Fitz has seen the kid a lot more than I have, but
he sees it a ton in the offseason because he gets to go and face these guys out at the Las Vegas ballpark. Go out there and throw their pens. So he's getting live bullpens.
I'm not knocking what you're saying. It's just I know I've never seen the kid, so I can't answer that. So, Mailman Jack asked, "Do you guys think Cease takes another step in 2022?"
Yep.
My answer is an emphatic yes. 100%. I think.
I mean, if Cease takes another step, he's going to say, "Yeah."
Dude, the only thing he has left to work on is between the ears.
Prediction.
I mean, it's like a big he's got the stuff. We all know he's got the stuff, but it's like it's so predictable now where it's like the ump will miss a call for him and you can see him visibly get frustrated. He's gonna walk the next two guys and give up a hit. Like if he could get mentally stronger, he would be a fucking stud in this league without a doubt. And I think that's something you can work on.
Sorry, Tracy. I would trade Vaughn and Kimbrel too, by the way. So that was just.
Dylan Cease reminds me of kind of stuff wise, but I think more result and production, like Rich Harden. Rich Harden when he was with the A's and he got traded to the Cubs, his stuff was 99%
more than 88
elite, this. Wait, Rich Harden? No, not Rich Hill. Rich Harden.
Harden.
Isn't his Twitter account I throw 88?
No, Dan Herron.
Oh, that's Dan Herron. I'm fucking mixing up names. Yeah.
But if he throws 88 now at his age, that's awesome. He's in his late 40s.
They did both play with the A's though. But Rich Harden, he had elite spin. He didn't throw 100, but he threw in the mid 90s. So maybe that's a little off.
It was Jake Arrieta brick house.
The thing with him was the pitch count would get high, so he would only go 5 or 6 innings. But when he was on, we would strike out 10 guys in 4 1/3. But the pitch count would be at 115.
Yeah, that's Dylan Cease.
And he threw that inverted W too. He had arm problems. That was his thing. But that dude was Jake Arrieta. Jake Arrieta and him physically, I would say, especially. Well, I mean, I don't know whatever vitamins Jake was taking, but very physically, they looked very similar. Jake's delivery was a little bit different.
Yes.
where he stepped.
Vitamins.
But for the most part, those two dudes they had hard biting stuff, and they had some pretty good velocity to go with it, and they were very dirty during that little tiny window that they had where they were like very, very dirty. But once they were no longer dirty and the velocity kind of died down, or the movement wasn't there, or someone closed the vitamin store, whatever the hell it was, they became Clark Kent, not Kal-El.
I'm going to take this show completely off track because I want to talk about this. So Beefloaf says, sorry, I was distracted. I was looking at Kendall Gill with so much gray in his beard, and then he wonders why Jake Paul won't fight him. Nobody wants to watch someone's dad get their ass kicked. Kendall Gill, if you guys ever watch Kendall Gill post like MMA shit all the time now and like boxing shit, he's pretty jacked. But like
that was
Jake
Jordan Jr.
Well, Jake Paul is fucking what, 22, 23?
And he's like 24, like training every day
and
for
peak physical condition. Now, I'm not saying the Paul brothers are great boxers, but they do tend to knock people the fuck out.
Well, when they tip their
I know, and I know, but their technique, their techniques and everything leave a lot to be desired. And I really think an actual boxer would get in there and knock them the fuck out. If they didn't
Mike Tyson would kill that dude, like both of them.
Tyson would just
like right now, Tyson would kill them dude.
Prime Tyson knocks his head into the fifth row.
But old Tyson knocks his head into the fucking fifth row. Like tomorrow.
Mike Tyson right now. Like, tomorrow.
Mike Tyson in 6 months.
Knock those dudes block off.
Yes.
Yeah, Mike Tyson in 6 months.
Because like I know we're like this is completely sidetracking. Love this though. I don't even care. I love it.
I don't even give a shit.
But like the problem is like I do respect because like I mean they just like they can because they're rich as hell and they can just train like every minute of every day because they can.
And hire the best trainers,
right? Fighter, like Tyron Woodley, like he's not a boxer.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like someone that knows boxing.
If they actually go up against a boxer.
But I'll say this: if you have some athletic ability and you have proper training, you can actually be pretty decent at what you do. And if he's got enough money to pay the best to train him, I mean, he should theoretically. He's not. I'll say this: he's not like a fucking. He's not like it's not like Sean Astin's out there trying to fucking box. Like as a fighter, he's actually got some length. He's got some size. He actually looks like he's kind of an athlete. Maybe in a different life, the Paul brothers could have played high school, maybe even college.
It's not even just a trainer, dude. You got to imagine he has a nutritionalist. He has a coach.
Oh yeah,
everything. He has everything, dude.
Like everything, and that's an advantage.
But if they fought like an actual like a retired boxer, like a guy who retired a year ago. Like that'd be a complete different story than the guys that they're fighting right now.
Yeah, there's a reason why they're not fighting
anymore. I still believe that.
Yeah,
he's fighting former UFC guys,
and he's calling out Canelo. Canelo's like, "You're a fucking joke." Like I'm not.
Canelo would fucking own him. I actually would love that.
I would,
but they won't do it. They won't do it because what? I mean, unless they think the market is if there's a big enough market for them to fucking like take someone's head clean off, being Paul's head.
Yes.
Then people will pay. Then do it. Hell yeah, make the payday. Take 70% of the profits, let him take 30, and you'll promise his hospital bills. Why don't you dismantle his ass? Because Canelo will own him.
And yeah, when he fought 100-year-old Floyd carried the fight, and you could tell he was pulling punches and like just like
literally carried him around.
That was how the fight between Drago and Apollo should have gone if Drago wasn't like a deadly machine and instead Jake Paul. So
Kendall Gill's only 53.
Yeah,
way over.
Dude, remember how when he was on the Hornets, everything he did, he was jump man. He was jump man. He was like the jump man after Jordan. He was the guy that was like the Jordan wannabe. I remember how and he not in a bad way. Like he was Larry Johnson. He had Alonzo Mourning. Oh,
all right. So the only way I think Kendall Gill wins the fight is if he brings his hair back. Hold on.
Ooh.
Sorry, again, I'm working with one monitor.
Jack, I appreciate the reference, by the way, which means he was probably playing. They were actually running the either the Bob Zamuda side or
Kendall Gill brings this hair back.
Oh Oh no!
He beat Jake Paul.
Dude, yeah,
Kendall
Kendall
Gill's-
Gill's always been shredded. Holy shit!
Yeah.
That's the
Jeez.
thing. Kendall Gill, when he retired, like when he was done playing NBA, like he was in boxing. Like he has like
He actually
professional
boxed.
fights.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
here's my thing too: is I don't think Kendall Gill would take the money to get knocked out like some of these dudes do.
No.
Right.
Actually,
No,
Kendall
he
Gill would
wouldn't.
want to whip his
Yeah,
ass.
he
He's got some
wouldn't.
pride.
Kendall Gill wouldn't do that shit. Like Woodley definitely did.
Yeah, Woodley was taking a paycheck.
Yeah.
Those UFC guys that lose like 30 times in their career and are considered great,
Mhm.
they're like, what's another loss? I got
No.
fucking
Kendall
8
Gill from
million.
Chicago. He ain't gonna go up there and get punked on national TV by some little fucking rich little white dude from Ohio. Like it's not gonna happen, dude. Like there's no way, and that's why I don't think the fight would ever happen. I mean that we can do hypotheticals all day, but I don't think this fight ever happens because Kendall Gill ain't gonna take the money to get knocked the fuck out on national TV.
Which brings us to. Oh, I got nothing. I was trying to think of something.
Yeah, I got nothing either. But
So, by the way, this is what I was trying to queue up. By the way, Zoe, you told a really great story, and I am going to jump in here. I got to drive out, or fly out to Chicago. I was there for a birthday trip too, but I was obviously coordinating. Even better. The Cubs were out of town. Actually, it sounds bad saying that, but got a chance to go to the Sox game with you, and we got to go to see. We got to see everybody. We got to hang out with everybody. We got to see Mailman Jack's calves, which was fantastic.
phenomenal.
Wally pelvic thrusted in front of our face, which
Still pregnant.
that's happened like multiple times now. He got me pregnant here in Vegas when he came out for the Bears game too. We got to see Aloha. We got to go obviously see the actual hot tub from the 108 Sunday Soak, which we were drinking from it, like the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Had a
And-
weird smell.
It did it, and I felt like I got a cold sore after we walked by it, which was weird. I couldn't figure that. When I was ringworm, I couldn't tell
I
the
got a
difference.
cold sore on my foot. I didn't know that could happen. Anyways, go ahead.
We got to obviously hang out with Yumper and sit to pee Josh Nelson. It was a fantastic, really like a whole experience. And but the best part though is like we did this whole thing, right? We had this whole game experience, and it wasn't just like again. It's who gives a shit who wins or loses, but obviously White Sox fans in a pennant hunt give a shit who wins and loses. And this is how the game ended. I'm going to add this to the stream, and I know you guys can't hear it at home, but when you hear the sound, you'll know exactly what happened.
Watch your ears, although this is loud as shit.
It's probably going to be pretty loud. So I'm going to take this down.
Yeah, everybody turn your volume down
a
right now.
peg or two here, but this is not Nick Madrigal's home run.
Warning.
This is not a Nick Madrigal home run. This is runners. Who was it? Moncada? No, it was the Phoenix. Correct? Was it
I
the
don't-
Phoenix?
If you think I remember details from that
You
night,
don't remember who drove in the
That's
game-winning
fucking
run
nuts.
in a walk-off fashion? I feel like it was the Phoenix.
Did you not hear me say I was shotgunning tall boy Busch Lights in the stands?
I remember my first shotgun, tall boys in the stands. And there it is. Walk-off win. We watch Carey. Watch Carey. He gives me a high five. Oh, God damn it. And then he's like, let's hug. And this is Carey Jarfield.
There's a lot of hugs. This is some good camera work, film teacher.
Well, once I was embraced by Carey, there was no other.
He does
But
give it.
I actually want to hold on. Can we bring this back? Hold on. Mute it. Mute. But can we look how excited Beef is? He's really pumped. Ready?
He's not in this video, is he? Oh, there he is. Look at that.
Oh,
happy
look at
guy.
this. Oh, high five.
Happy guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's
Right.
a lot of White Sox Twitter in the background there. It's like a who's who back there.
That we got Keelan, we got Luke, we got that guy. Oh, I'll have to clear that one out. But
And here, there was video purpose there that me and my Sox Summer actually are talking.
look at my Sox Summer's hair. Look at his hair. Look at right there. You got the bandana, the traditional. Watch his head. And I said, "Ooh, I got my."
I think he was actually trying to get me to drink an IPA.
Look at everyone's so excited though. Like I've got the fireworks. It was
Oh, it's
Tony
a great
Reese.
time, dude. I
Time
miss the
for
ballpark.
second.
Now, with everything being where it's at right now,
Plotting.
and I know we all have our own we had our own takes on it when it began. Now that we're like a month or so deep into it, do you guys still think opening day happens in April?
Yeah.
Outfits.
Not
Although-
I have nothing to base on, so I don't know.
Based on what Shreve told me,
Yeah,
Shreve
fit,
went down- Shreve went down. He was down there. He was at the. He was near. I guess if you want to call it near. He was down there working. Owners walked in. They had no intention to talk. They were. It's all peripheral. They're gonna sit this one out. So I think we get baseball. And aloha, Mr. Hand, Pete. I can say this. He said this on the Tainted Glove like a dozen times, if not 13. A baker's dozen. That it's the season. We're not gonna get like actual meaningful baseball until mid to late April at the earliest.
I still think they play in April. I don't
Spring
know
training is going to start sometime in like late March, early April, and they're going to extend it.
Actually, you
because
know
of
what?
safety.
what.
You know what? I don't want Carlos Correa playing in like 30-degree weather at Wrigley Field in the first week of April, so I'm fine with it.
It's not terrible. 140 games is fine.
I still think they play in April. I just really hope, like, dude, when I grew up, my dad took me to so many baseball games. My dad's the reason why I love baseball. Baseball was everything with him. And then the strike happened when the White Sox were good and Frank Thomas got robbed of the MVP. And I'm sure Mr. Hanna put the year in the chat because I can't think of the actual year right now. My dad hasn't watched baseball since.
94, right?
Yeah, he won't, like, I've taken him to a couple games and he'll go just because I want him to go with me, but like he doesn't sit at home and watch games. He actually started watching games this season because of this show and talking to me and all this stuff, and he really started getting back into it. And now I'm fearful that he'll just be like, fuck these guys again, and he's just stop watching baseball.
I mean, we talked about the honeypotting and these large contracts they were giving out as a way to entice the younger or these players to vote for, because again, every day that they don't play, they lose out of that salary. They lose a portion of it. So
Right.
these honeypotting contracts were there especially to entice some of the more. Look at some of the people that signed these contracts too. You got a Stroman contract, very vocal, very social media guy. He's going to want to play. He's going to lose his money. He's promising everybody tickets. He's been, by the way, fantastic. Now, I know I don't care about his baggage. Shreve gave me the whole rundown. I'm in on Stroman, by the way, based on what Chasen Shreve, who played with him as a pitcher with the Mets, told me about him. Hey, look, you know what? Don't fuck around and find out. That's exactly what he said. Don't fuck around and find out. If you're going to play hard, you're fine. If you're going to take days off, don't. So
Yep.
he's going to shake up the clubhouse.
And people can't forget this either, that Dickhead Manfred was the owner's lawyer during 94. So
So
it's a big hurdle. But, dude, it's seriously, I don't even want to start thinking about it because it like legit fucking bums me out when thinking about like possibly missing out on baseball this year. Like,
but is it really missing out if you just miss a couple games and then the guys are sharper and then you get
That's
to go
fine.
to warmer games?
as long as that's it, that's fine.
Yeah,
But
it's not
if we're
going
having this conversation in fucking May, then yeah.
No,
I
yeah,
think
no
fucking-
problems.
Yeah.
They're not gonna go- they won't go that far.
We're not doing the show.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Too, I think the
This is
owners,
gonna This is going to be a Bulls podcast if that happens. If we're doing this
Yeah,
in May.
exactly.
the owners have thrown enough money out at this point. The owners have thrown it out enough at this point that it will never get to that point. There will be enough support into this thing. Again, the biggest thing about this is that players have to understand that they can't get everything they want in one cycle of negotiations. They've got to take a little bit. It's just 20, 30 years of the owners taking what they want. You can't flip that in 1 year, one collective bargaining agreement. They've got to take where they can get it. They've got to protect their minor leaguers. They've got to make sure that they get, obviously, some of the stupid loopholes that really screw people out of playing time and service time and all that bullshit. But in the end, they can't get what we all know they deserve yet. The owners won't let it. So you've got to chip away at it. And so hopefully they're chipping away where it matters most, but that's where it matters. And if the Players Association and the union or whatever want to get it all back in 1 year, we won't see baseball at all in 2022. But they've got to take a little bit and then just incrementalize over time and work backwards, basically. Yep.
I'm
And
a
Pete
big-
just said it perfectly.
I sit here and play MLB The Show every fucking night because I miss baseball so much. I miss it. I miss its musk. I miss its smell. I miss it. Fuck. Now I'm all bummed out.
So well.
I'm gonna go get high. I'm gonna go get high in the garage and do karate.
Look, the new you didn't see the new leak, the new PS5 MLB The Show 2022 is it actually comes with scratch and sniff, so you can actually while you're playing, you can just sniff the cartridge, and it smells like whoever your favorite player's jockstrap. So
I'd actually. Well, we're at that time.
You can't even do it right now. They don't have a likeness.
We're at the time of the year where my MLB The Show team is actually
3D.
finally stacked just in time for MLB, the new one, to come out in fucking a couple months.
They're all going to be like the college football game, like avatars. They'll be like the same, or like the ones like from RBI baseball, where it was just their number.
Yep, we'll probably end up going back to what we did during COVID when everybody started playing each other on MLB The Show just to get baseball fixes in. Set up like makeshift leagues. Kendall Gill to fight Manfred. Beef, I love you, dude. That might be your best idea ever.
I'd be good with that.
I would dedicate a whole 2 paychecks to go sit and watch that fight.
Mm-hmm. I'd buy that on pay-per-view.
I would fly to wherever it is and watch that in person. I think that would put up epic. That would break pay-per-view records. Literally, Manfred versus anybody that could kick his ass would break.
I would actually see Manfred fight dipshit from the NFL. That'd be great. We could just
there you go, Zo. There you go, Zo.
Boomer, Soomer, motherfuckers. Right, sorry, Luke.
Things are all right.
Did you get a tutty?
We've gotten multiple tutties during this broadcast.
So Andy Dalton now donated as much as Tom Ricketts.
Dude, you can't donation shame, man. It's not a good look, Fids. It's not a good look, dude. I'm trying to be your friend here. It's not a good look.
I bought t-shirts.
Yeah. No, I guess to just touch on it, I really love JD's work. I think he was one of the best in Chicago. I think it's definitely a testament to, as much as people like to say that it's toxic and it's shitty and all that stuff, the Chicago sports fan community really coming together and making it happen to that poor fucking kid, dude. Jesus Christ. I don't even want to go down that road. But making it happen. So
the good ones.
I was like, my quick run, like that was the first thing when I heard the news, because I've heard Jeff Dickerson on the radio since I even first started listening to like Chicago sports radio. Like in the early 2000s when he was when he started on ESPN
2001.
And then and I knew what had happened to his wife a few years ago, how she passed away. And when I heard that he had passed away, literally the first thing I was like, oh, that his kids, his 11-year-old son. I was like, oh, like I can't even fathom thinking about it.
Sounds like he's a young athlete too.
Within 2 years of each other.
Yeah, I heard he's a hell of a baseball player.
Must be a pretty good little football player too. Yeah, good little baseball player. The thing is too. And this is we talk about the corporate media, and I know I shit a lot on them on our show a lot. But he's not part of that. Like he was always one of those dudes that I remember somebody, I think I can't remember who told the anecdotal story about how he asked I want to say it was McCaskey or Phillips about it's a pandemic that is why you're not firing Matt Nagy right now, or blah blah blah. And it was an aggressive question, but the kind of question that a good journalist asks, aggressive and no nonsense. And the response, you could again, if you listen to the interview, you can take a ton away from it. But he reported it the right way, like a reporter should, objectively, which was the response from them was no, it wasn't. Like that was it. Like there wasn't like he gave me an eyebrow look and then told me that the dude reported the news as a sports writer the way you're supposed to. And that to me, I respect more than anything. And that's one of the people that like I've always gone to as one of my go-tos. And so I might joke around about it's always me just trying to like take a shot at Ricketts, but the guy has been one of the more, I mean, obviously look again, you could tell a lot about someone, and it sounds terrible saying this, how people speak about them when they're gone. The incredible outpouring of love and respect and just
stories, man,
is The dude treated, you know what? People don't know what you say. They don't remember the words that come out of your mouth. They will always remember the way you made them feel. And he made them feel always like the most important person in his conversations. And that's just a good person.
From a baseball standpoint on this, just because, this is a sort of a baseball show. I can't remember which one, but another ESPN writer told a story about how JD, because this kid is, I guess, he plays like up a level, and he like starts and is an all-star. But like they were at a barbecue at another beat writer's house, and JD took his kid and this other writer's kid to just go to the park nearby to hit balls. And then flash forward a couple years, and this writer was like talking at Hales Hall. He's like, "Oh man, I gotta buy my kid a new bat. These fucking things are like $500 a pop. Like, this is unreal." And he said like the next day, JD showed up with 2 super nice bats and was like, "Here, this is for your boy." Like, he was that kind of guy. And like, like you said, Fitch, I think you nailed it. It speaks a lot to him about how people are talking about him now that he's passed. I haven't heard anywhere close to a negative thing said about the guy. I really liked his stuff. I'm not a big ESPN guy, but he was one of my go-to Bears guys. He was always really kind to the Sports Mockery guys when others weren't, and those are shit I'll never forget. And I wish his son all the best, and that just really sucks, dude. We are really ending this show on like a super high note.
I'm gonna do a shout out to Malort here. Cheers to you, Jeff.
But
may the wind be always at your back.
Well, so hopefully everybody has a good New Year's Eve. Celebrate it with family, friends, all that good stuff. Be safe. Don't be stupid, because we need all 8 of you to come back and view this show next time we do it. But who knows what next year will bring. All I can tell you is us 3 will keep trying to do our best. We did receive a good amount of donations from people, and hopefully we can tweak the merch a little bit and get those sales flowing again. But we're definitely going to use that money to maybe get Aldo out of Guantanamo Bay, maybe
the defense fund,
maybe give me some pay for internet, all that fun stuff. So
your new makeup table.
Yeah, I mean, sky's the limit. But it was a great year. We really appreciate all of you, and that's no bullshit there. If this wasn't fun, we wouldn't keep doing it, and you guys really make it fun. But yeah, man, thank you for everybody. You guys got anything you want to sign off with before we shut it down for 2021?
I'm just thankful for all of you guys, especially those that have listened, but also White Sox Twitter that took, me and Aldo gone to Sox games this year too. So I'm not sure Cubs fans would agree sometimes, but I think that there is a great opportunity in 2022 for us to take away the old the intercity hatred rival and turn it into more of a friendly rivalry, so that people hate each other less. And so, if anything, yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm saying, though. It's a rivalry within the skyscrapers and inside the city limits. It's a rivalry, and I would appreciate. I would love to have a 2022 where it's more acceptable to be happy for both teams, because you know what, I'm super happy when the White Sox win. Although I obviously in the World Series I'd root for the Cubs, but it's been a great time to get to know the people from White Sox Twitter and the that whole crew. And for me at least, I'm very thankful that this has been a crazy year, of course, but you guys have all been here, and you guys have seen us at our highs and lows and our worst and our best, and you got to see me at probably my most vulnerable public moment of my entire life, which was when KB was traded 7 minutes before the trade deadline, and me and Aldo were live, and that was a moment, and I didn't get mocked or made fun of, and you guys embraced us as someone that just cared about the game. And you know what, this game is special to all of us. Appreciate the game, and if you can, give more to the game, because you know what, we all owe this game more than this game owes us. So on that, I'll thank you guys so much for the year, and of course these 2 guys, Soups appreciated for.
Soups.
Thank you for you guys for doing this. Every week for the most part, for most of the year.
Yep.
Genuine thank you for everyone who listened, watched, liked, retweeted, tweeted at us, interacted on the comments, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of it. A genuine thank you. Again, if no one did this, like we probably wouldn't be doing this. So like just for the people who do, come into our little three-way dance here, very appreciated. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do this for a lot longer and, actually get to talk about baseball a lot soon.
For sure. Well, for everybody, for the last time in 2021, that's Fids. That's Aldo. If you see me at the 108 thing, don't be fucking weird. Bing bong. Happy New Year. Love you guys. And we'll see you next year. Hi-oh.
Be really weird.